Today, let's look at the PDP crisis and the implications for the party, going into the 2023 election. Long story short, as you know, following the emergence of, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as the presidential candidate of the party, and his choice of a running mate, it, quite frankly, it rocked the boat. The governor of Rivers, Nyesom Wike, is feeling quite hurt. He feels, I don't know, maybe let me just introduce misunderstood or whatever. In short, he's not happy. He's not the only one within the PDP family. Today, I'll be talking with Mr. Segun Showunmi, a chieftain of the PDP. In fact, so much so, he was a governorship aspirant, but in the event, it went to, the party recognized the choice of a faction of the party. So Mr. Showunmi is quite in the thick of things, and I'm sure his contribution on this subject is going to be quite valuable. So good morning to you, Mr. Segun Showunmi.
Good morning, Yori. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Segun. So what do we do now? First of all, let me just sort of get my ducks in a row. Would you agree that the PDP is in crisis, or do you think that's making a mountain out of a molehill?
Thank you very much, Yori. I suppose the best way to start is to say that those who deny what is before their nose cannot be expected to think up solutions to problems that they can even ill conceive or recognize. The PDP has been in opposition since 2015, and having not the responsibility to manage the complex issues in the country, except to provide alternative points of view as opposition, the minimum that you would have expected is that they will spend those times in quality repair of their processes. Incidentally, we're now at a point where we're looking to possibly go into another contest. And of course, we are in some sort of crisis. Would we be able to quickly step out of it and manage ourselves to the next level? That is the frustration, the agony, and the prayer of those that have been with PDP all the while. It is beyond annoying that simple processes of respecting commitment, of respecting the views of the other side, of listening with the intention to understand, and doing whatever needs to be done to bring the house together, has taken flight. That's where they are.
What would you, I've heard you say before, and you've said it in quite a few places, that the presidential candidate of your party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is a unifier. Okay, therefore, he has a lot of work to do. How tough do you think it is? Because you've just, spoken about some frustrations for any, serious-minded PDP member in terms of inclusiveness. Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of your party, as a unifier, do you think he has a fair shake, or is he really working against odds?
I've become a little bit interested in reviewing and examining what exactly we propose. If you want to run on a unifier mantra, the simple question you will ask is that should charity not begin at home? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if charity cannot begin at home, then people must naturally question and query what capacity we will have to unify a bigger problem. I am not by any stretch of imagination indicting the individual in the person of the presidential candidate. But I am putting it to all of us in PDP and the entire nation that posterity will be the firm judge that I spoke up when it became absolutely necessary. Let us start from the campaigns. At a point when I saw the way the campaign was going, I rushed to the only one meeting I had with Governor Showunmi to beg him and situate properly these words. I said to him, sir, you can no longer be ignored because of what I see on the dashboard. You cannot ignore Atiku because of the long-standing play and the number of people that are with him. If both of you don't take it easy, you will polarize this party and possibly reduce the ability for it to take a contest that I consider to be a tough contest. Ask me, by what magic do you make commitment to sides and you don't keep it? By what magic do you treat the person that is aggrieved as though you are not even listening to what they're saying? By what decency do you commit to meetings and not show up? By what decency do you accept that abusing other members is the right way to resolve issues? So I'll just say, if they had better nip whatever it is that is upsetting them in the bud, because what is before Nigeria is a lot bigger than anybody else. Gone are the days when Nigeria has only one national party. The country now has 3 potential options they can choose. They can move and go to the ruling party because they are changing the character of their presidential candidate, and he will be given his own fresh canvas. We may get ourselves stuck with the anger that is in the land that is not propelling the other movement, which you all know what I'm talking about, the one being driven by the Labour Party. Shall a party that has been in charge of the country before for 16 beautiful years, having an opportunity to go contest another election, now begin to say that it is internal issues, the inability to listen to each other, the inability to respect people's hearts? They are doing it to everybody, they are doing it to me. And let me use your platform to truly apologize to the former governor of Ekiti State, because at one other program I had been very harsh on him, all in the bid to just get them to listen to themselves and talk. And Governor Ayefashe, everything considered, I apologize.
Okay.
Because I have now seen clearly that you cannot insist that only one side is wrong. And I put it to all of us firmly that all sides must de-escalate and now go and talk properly. The Nigerian nation is waiting, and we want to have a beautiful conversation around issues.
Indeed.
Sweeping things under the carpet, pretending as if we are ostriches, is not going to help us.
Well, as you said, yes, most people would agree with you because people want to know exactly where they stand and they look towards their leadership. You yourself are no stranger to, what shall we say, let me use the delicate word, the dynamics within the PDP. Even your contesting the primaries of your party is an indication of that. There were factions. In the end, the PDP, looked at the other faction and decided that that was the one they were going to recognize. So there's all of that kind of a thing, and I think it's part of what you're just saying, that everybody doesn't get a fair shake. Are you concerned that frustrations like you are describing, if they are sufficiently widespread within the PDP, could actually damage it in terms of its quest in 2023. Take Governor Autumn, for instance. As you know, people have been meeting him, and he has said, yeah, he has a right to meet with anybody. In fact, he has a duty to meet with everybody. People are concerned that might alliances injurious to the PDP not be formed. Others are saying, nah, it's not as bad as that. Give me your view of how this thing is going, perhaps because of the points that you have just made, that people are not getting joy in terms of dialogue.
Now, Yori, let me say even better than you have asked it. Shall a political party that has about 13 governors be going into a contest with a political party that has about 20-something governors, where a lot of people bought forms to contest for the presidency in the APC? One person got the ticket, Achwaj Bola Tinubu. Have you seen any one of their presidential candidates demonstrate public frustration and irritation to the extent that you think they are polarizing? They would have wanted to pick a vice presidential candidate. A lot of people would have been interested. One person has been picked. Conversations have gone around it. Have you seen them staying on that conversation around why not this, why not that? Have you seen them assuming that an election that has not been casted, they have won? Have you seen them refusing to go bend backward over to go visit people? I tell you, my dear friend, none of the Judas, maybe with the exception of the likes of Governor Wee, who has ever left the party, dare look at me and think they have bigger vestations in this party. We have been here all the while, holding the battle, propping them, lifting them, leaving them to go and come and supporting them. Maybe perhaps that's why they don't understand why we will not expect them to waste time now in trying to make the house come together. Any political party that thinks that the 2023 election is a simple election is in self-grandiose denial. Anybody that has the confidence of a dog must understand that at the production of this first stick, a barking dog would get out of the space and become a coward. The 2023 election is not won. It has not even been done. And it has not been won. And nobody must pretend as if they are a president in waiting just yet.
I'm going to wait till your microphone is fixed. Your last few words there didn't come through.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay, you see, it's a bit concerning, no doubt, to members of the PDP itself, but then also to the a larger society. First of all, that PDP is in the race at all. As you know, this is not an easy thing. There are people who are blaming the state of the country on the party when it was in power, leading up to the situation of the change of government through election. And now to come back in this way, I don't know the extent to which you can rely on quotes that are put out there, but it is reported that some eminent literary person has said that if the matter is coming to the extent of asking the PDP through the election, through the vote, to come back, then we have a serious problem. Now, with that kind of an atmosphere out there, it would seem to me that Governor Wike's temperament and feeling right now about this whole matter, it really should be making people apprehensive. Although he's also cited to be a die-hard party man and is not about to leave. Hey, but the man is flesh and blood. Give me your sort of prognosis, what you think in that regard, because Wike has consistently said that he is not being addressed appropriately. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has said that It is his prerogative to make a choice, and he has made it. So you can't put two people there, as you just indicated a bit earlier.
The mic. Okay, I can hear now.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Well, let me just say, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I want to beg the media through you.
Yes, okay.
Stop making this issue a Wike issue. I have asked oftentimes, by what magic do so many governors lie behind him? It is extremely infantile and ridiculously arrogant to reduce what they are saying to one individual. After all, he's not the only one saying it. If Wike has taken on the baton to be the leader of a particular tendency, is it all about him alone? Or is Wike responsible for Tom? Is he responsible for all the others? What about the very strong agitation around the Southern Bloc? On my honor and my life, I don't speak to Governor Wike. I've spoken to him only once in life to go and beg him on behalf of the party. Before someone starts saying that Wike has sent themselves to go and talk. Will I be 24 years in this party, never leaving when they jump and not have some strong views as to how things are going? I believe the earlier all sides realized that it is better to listen with the intention to understand than to listen with the intention to argue. After all, there are over 200 million Nigerians that are waiting to be rescued. And it wouldn't really matter how the election, who wins. What is more important is the quality of the conversation that helps the Nigerians to take a decision and how people are behaving in public space without missing word. You need to look at our rivals, and we need to look at ourselves.
Okay.
Are there not some issues that they are also managing within? What is wrong with us?
Indeed. That is the question that I imagine the PDP is asking itself. And I take the point you're making, that, look, Governor Wike, he's one man. He's an important member of the PDP. But it's like what you're saying is that he isn't solely the PDP, even though he has his issues. And you are saying people shouldn't be tracing this crisis of a sort, as you put it, to just the one man. Are there other factors then, apart from Governor Wike, for example, which you've said that people should just put in the proper perspective, the whole matter of PDP not being willing to or ready to listen to itself, that seems to be your plank, that, look, let's talk sincerely among ourselves, with respect among ourselves. That is what, if I get it right, you seem to be saying is missing within the PDP.
If any side considers itself to have been victorious in an election contest, those who know and ought to know will agree with me that the bigger attention, probably even pampering, bending backward over to beg and accommodate, must be to those who maybe have aggrieved. Because the man who won will go home clapping. His family members will be rejoicing with him. There has to be an effort to make sure that the man who came short now does not go home gloomy. And to add insult into injury, you can't be acting as if we have won an election that the vote has not been casted. If it was only down to us, and Nigerians did not have other places they can consider,
okay,
can you imagine how frustrating it will be for the country? The citizens will be asking themselves, are these the people that want to manage us? when they cannot manage themselves. That exactly is the issue.
So
And I thought that it
therefore,
is best for posterity's sake that I try to speak some truth to us, that if at all there is still a modicum of decency, they will be able to do what is right.
yeah, and that, you know, I was going to ask what your assessment is of the chances of the party in this very important electoral year, 2023, given the lie of the ground as you see it. I can't imagine that you're a minority in your party with, you know, what you've shared. So given that, given the lie of the ground there, let me ask you for your honest assessment. If things don't change along the lines that you've just said, the offended, shouldn't people be leaning over backwards to make sure that they are accommodated if that is not an important issue within the PDP? And if it isn't addressed, what would be your honest assessment if we carry this kind of an attitude into, well, let me say, alleged attitude, because maybe all of PDP doesn't agree with you, I don't know. But if we carry this into next year, what is your honest assessment as to the chances of the PDP?
Yuri, let me say it this way. I have done the metrics for myself. And I've even assumed that we are back to where we used to be. That means that everybody is on board and we are all cushy-mushy with ourselves. Because I know the traditional states PDP wins. The traditional place APC wins. The states that PDP win once in a while. The states that APC wins but not with big margin. I tell you again, it's not a very simple election, no matter how you call it. And therefore, I imagine, how can a people not see that these elections are not as easy if their argument is that, oh, Nigerians are frustrated? Aside the election in Osun, which other term the election has PDP won? And even the one in Osun, by what magic did the frustrated people, so to speak, dash APC 300,000 votes? We need to smell the coffee. But you know, thankfully, when the contest starts, nobody is going to hold Atiku responsible for the failings of Jonathan. He will have to come with his own ideas of how he wants to do it. And therefore, by the same inference, nobody would truly hold Bola Tinubu responsible for the failings of probably even Buhari. Each of them will be given a clean board. And they will have to speak to what they are going to do and how they are going to do it. And what betide the both of us if the energy of the Nigerians organically propelling Obi becomes the status quo on the day? Never eliminate any possibility. Elections are a residual decision-making event. And ultimately, the people will have to decide. And I don't expect anybody not to get the message. And therefore, I want to beg Governor Nyesom Wike and all persons around you, we have labored much for this party in the years of trial. Please, bed banquet over. And I want to speak to my people, Waziri Atiku Abubakar and our own side. We are not yet in the villa, and we are not going to enthrone a king. It is politics. And negotiation accommodation must be allowed. Wike is much younger. He has more energy. Are you going to say because he has energy that means he's talking rubbish? It's like saying because I have a lot of energy, I'm talking nonsense. You must listen with the intention to hear. Nothing is not agreeable You can't insist that you are not going to concede nothing and expect the others to come in like they are your slaves. Politics is not done that way. Not at the local level, not at the state level, and certainly not at the national level.
So, in a word, Segun, the impression I'm getting is that you're actually accusing your party of complacency at the highest levels where decisions are made, and this could be dangerous. Sorry? Say that again.
Larceny and complacency.
Okay. And, I mean, you can imagine what that would mean if any party, if any house were to go into a serious contest with that hanging over its head. However, it's not as if you're about to write off the PDP, are you?
No. Look, it is because it is possible for a party to be given a penalty kick, as it were, in a football match. And then you call the player that is supposed to come and kick it. And then he turns to the other side and lobs it into his own goal. How do you expect the fans to feel? That is precisely what I'm talking about.
Okay, I like your analogy. In this analogy of yours, the players actually take the feelings of their fans into consideration as well. Never mind the football management. Even the fans have expectations of them. And our guest this morning is Mr. Segun Showunmi. He was a PDP aspirant. He wanted to become the candidate of the party, but that's not the way the primaries went. And I believe that they went to court. In fact, Segun, thank you very much for staying with us. Let me get clarity on the issue. For instance, our station is reporting that Ogun PDP governorship, Segun Showunmi wins at appeal court. Some people have said, not quite. So what is it? What's the situation? What is the truth of the matter?
Okay, Yuri, thank you. I didn't really want it to be about the Ogun matter because that's in court. But let me provide some clarity.
Sure.
I had gone to court very early. I had first of all started by asking very, very early that you cannot come and do an ad hoc delegate primaries when one of the contestants has alleged and has said on tape and video and newspapers that the escort to superintend over this matter bought his form. As a dutiful party member, I wrote a letter to the party that, we have a few options. Dissolve them for abuse of office and abuse of oath of office and the PDP constitution. Reconstitute a small panel, caretaker to look after this matter. Just give us something that looks like a modicum of fairness. When they didn't move on time before, so that it doesn't become status bound, I took them to court. I kept advising and giving them court orders and court opinions that, look, this case is there, this case is there. In their perennial inability to obey even their own rules and almost acting as perpetual contemnors of court, they tried to put a fait accompli on me, and I said, no, I won't have that. I can't put in this many years, and people that hop up and down, they go today, they come tomorrow, will begin to give me the way in PDP. Unfortunately, for some reasons best known to the law court, it denied the self-jurisdiction without going into the substance of the case. Painstakingly and diligently, I went all the way to the Court of Appeal. Way even before we did anything like primaries and all. And the Court of Appeal has ruled now. Because justice in this country has not gone to everybody else the way people describe it. We still have a body of judges who have integrity. And they have ruled that I was right and that they should go and rehear it. My fans are excited because they know that the case at the base of the pyramid is a case of you can't build something on nothing. And I felt the same arrogance of them not even having the decency to call the people that are, gentlemen, okay, why don't you agree for Segun? You are younger than Ladi. Please. They didn't do that. They just went on a frolic that somebody whose father maybe has money, as if my father is begging for food, has a right to take everything, and I'm supposed to stand in the gap and just be looking. What happens, Yori, tomorrow if your son meets my son in a contest And if by the grace of God I become a successful politician, and then my son is telling your son that, oh, my father is Segun Showunmi, what the hell does that mean? Democracy imagines that everybody must be given a fair opportunity to access. And judiciary, being the standpoint that keeps society working, insists that anybody who comes to court will have fair hearing. Yeah. And if on the merit of the case he is right, then he is right. Tell me, Yori, why should we be in opposition? We've been in existence since 1998. I can forgive APC, they are probably a new party getting to form. How does a 24-year-old party not have integrity problem? How do they have integrity problem in their processes? After we lost election and Brazil lost election, I saw the numbers they had and I saw that they weren't complaining. I ran to the Brazilian Workers' Party to say, teach me what happened here. How come you got 50-something million votes and the people that want got 50-something million votes and there's no quarrel? They told me the integrity of our process is so strong that nobody complains because the people wishes and the process is fair to all. Shall I accept that Europeans are better than us? Maybe. Shall I accept that the Arabs are better than us? Maybe. Shall I now also accept that South Americans, who are mostly even our own people, slave trade, am I going to accept that perpetually they are better than us? So what I am fighting for is to insist that democratic institutions, parties, are the first safeguard in a democracy. And therefore they owe it to everybody to ensure that they do not put a fait accompli on the people. So when you call me factional former, I just smile because it's not about me. I will eventually be declared as a governorship candidate. Otherwise, they will see the interpretation of their tomfoolery in the fullness of time.
How concerned are you, Segun, about relations within your party, by which that include you? I'm looking here at the party, becoming frustrated and actually slamming you with an anti-party charge. Is that a concern, and do you care if it comes to that? Because I take very well the point that you are making, that it's the principle here. It's not even about you. Okay. Unfortunately, Otumba Segun Showunmi, we just lost that line. We're going to be doing everything to bring it back up again. He's still in Abuja studio. I don't know, quite an interesting conversation. So as soon as we get him back, that's one of the things I'd like to find out. I can't imagine that he's a lone ranger in the party. There probably will be other people who will see it from the way point of view he's seeing it. In summary, you heard it all yourself. What he's saying is that there are a bunch of guys running around in the PDP leadership, not that he used that particular expression, that are just, treading, heavily with jackboots on people's sensibilities. And it is his impression that fairness is not a virtue that the PDP, takes very, very seriously and not just carefully. He says he stands against this with every fiber in his body. He says that never mind what has been done so far by way of announcing the results of the primaries in the PDP for the Ogun governorship election, that he will still be the candidate. Now, that's fighting talk, and that's why I wanted to know from him, how concerned is he that, this issue could lead to a rancor? As soon as I get him back again, as soon as we can get him back online again, this is something that I'd like him to address. But he said that it's not even about him. It's about the principle of the thing. It's about how they are seen. Okay, I understand I have him back.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Yori.
Okay, Segun. I was asking that following what I was given a summary of it for anybody who joined midway into the conversation, that you said it's not even about you. It's about the principle and about the way that the party membership sees it, and indeed the larger audience of the public. Now, I was asking, are you concerned that you might be slapped with a charge of anti-party activities? And does it matter in the quest that, from my point of view here, you are saying that it's about the principle of the thing. It's not about Segun himself. It's about the principle of the thing. Are you concerned that you could get slapped with an anti-party rhetoric charge?
Well, let me first of all say that between 1998, when this party was formed, to 2015, when we lost, by the time that I was working as a Deputy Chief Press Secretary to Otumba Daniel, I'm not the type of person who goes looking for title or whatever. And it didn't stop me from talking on behalf of this party and defending them. When the election was lost in 2015, everybody went to bed. Nobody wanted to even come on television to either defend it, whatever. I did it without apology. When they have any issue, I'm here defending. I hardly ever tell them, give me a title. But when we lost in 2015, although I was very sad that we lost, I raised my hands to the heaven and thanked God that at least we now have two national parties in Nigeria. They will be very lucky if they don't provoke me from leaving the party. Because if I give 24, 25 years of my adult life, is it their annoying, irritating talk and threat of indiscipline that will matter to me? Who is going to discipline me? Is it the chairman that has just returned back? Or even all of those people that has been jumping back and forth? They need to understand I am in court with them. I will slam them with contempt. I will go all the way to the wire to make sure that people are thrown into jail if they don't understand the simple principle that when we are in court with ourselves, you can't bully me by your stupid threats. When you were leaving the party, I was standing to back you.
Okay.
When you came back, I carried you and ran with you.
Okay.
And I've not said anything here that is anti-party. I have only spoken truth to power. And anybody who hears the truth, Nigerians must know they are not worthy of anything.
What if because you've said that you will be, by the grace of God, the candidate of the PDP in the governorship election, meaning that you're going to pursue this to a logical conclusion. What if you were to be prevailed upon by your national leader of your party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? I mean, I hear what you've said about it, but it's looking like, dare I say it, it's like you're ready for any kind of a fight, so long as we keep to the principle of it. If you were to be prevailed upon by the leader of your party, would it make a difference?
Yori, my man, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar knows that I love him with my bones. And I've done everything humanly possible to support and propel him. But I just said to him, any leader whose ambition cannot accommodate the legitimate aspiration of a follower is not leading, is only selfish. I can release it at any time. I am almost a decade younger than the other guy. What I do not like is the attitude of arrogance. After all, if he wins and God spares our life, I can still lead after him. We are not from the same senatorial district. But by what parameter does he go about acting as if people don't matter? A great number of the people that are with him now, I even brought them there. I begged them back to him. Okay, shall he now tell me that he took 26 out of assembly, 3 reps, 9 reps, 3 senate, even went as far as going to pick the deputy governor without consulting? Because what? They are a family that owes a lot of tax to the federal government that the federal government is not collecting. That's why me, the son of a soldier who went to war for this country to keep this country together, will now be made cowed in this same country. especially in a party that I have bled more for them. That fellow has jumped parties more than 4 times. First, they started from their AD, then they came to PDP, then they went to PPN, then they went to Labour, then they came back to PDP, then as of 2019 they did APM. All of this time I have been standing. So who has the bigger gravitas and the bigger emotional connect? And why should I not allow leaders who pretend as if they don't know the truth to just whimsically just tell me,
you know the way you
do it?
Yeah, Segun.
Is that not an insult to my personality? And that of people that are following me at home and abroad? Yori, I'm not a desperate man. Sometimes I even wonder that the responsibility is heavy. I don't take it for a joke. But one thing I know for sure, I am a free-born, bona fide citizen of that state. And I will never allow that state to go to the dogs. If the heavens will fall, let it fall.
Indeed. As you know, your party chairman has said that there's no question about his resigning at all. So it's like, no. People can express themselves. Maybe you, the quote-unquote, the younger elements to the hierarchy. Yeah, express yourself by all means. But when you begin to want to call shots, such as the chairman must go, I think that has been answered, shut down. It's not going to go. He is not going to go. So it looks like matters are going to remain the way they are. And thank God for freedom of speech. Here you are expressing yourself. You said that they will be very lucky not to have you walk out and walk across into any other place of your choice. Yeah, there's a sense in which I could ask the question following from that statement from you, Segun. So why do you still remain in the PDP that you are very, you are this frustrated with?
No, Yori, let me tell you why. I always believe that democratic institutions and democratic culture takes time to build. And I'm not one of those who go looking for profit where I have not labored.
Okay.
On a program at the beginning of the APC's sojourn into power, that program used to call Issues. Myself and the now National Minister for Information, we had a head-to-head that day. I was standing on behalf of PDP. On the aisle of that conversation, he said to me, Segun, we created this party for men like you. I told him clearly, I said, sir, why would you reward somebody that fought against you with your party now? Go and build organically. And I have been standing here. When those who are always on a mirage of masquerading looking for their personal interest, go and come. But you know, after 24 years, 25 years, you kind of ask yourself, do you have another 10 years to give to people that are not reforming themselves? I am in court with them, and I am happy that we have 2 national parties. I won't better anybody who expects me to go and kill my own father from Yoruba land for them, especially when they are not treating me, his son, well.
Very much, Otumba Segun Showunmi. What I get from your expression is that in spite of your dissatisfaction with the state of affairs within the PDP, you are too invested in it to just walk away casually. However, it is not as if it's a foregone conclusion that it will never happen. It's just that, I like the way you put it, they'll be lucky if I don't walk across, but that's not your style. You're too invested in this party, warts and all. Did I get that right?
You got it absolutely right. But I will not allow people who are in the habit of going and coming to waste my time, and that of other people who are just as concerned as me.
All right, then. Well, I want to thank you very much, as I said.
Major General Muhammadu Buhari is a soldier. I'm the son of a soldier. That's the class of my parent. Have you seen me go to him?
Okay.
I have known Ashwani Bola Ahmed Tinubu since 1994, 95 in Europe. Ask him, have I ever come to beg for bread? Is my former leader, Gbenga Daniel, not in APC? Have you seen me go to tell him I'm coming? But a political party will not be a perpetual prison. They will have to reform. They will have to take the issue seriously. They will have to understand that they should drop their egos. They will have to understand that what is at stake is bigger than them. They will have to understand that people are losing patience.
Thank you very much, Otumba Segun Showunmi, PDP chieftain, governorship aspirant, and he's asserting that by the grace of God, he will become, never mind whatever has been done in the interim, he will become the candidate of his political party, the PDP, in the fullness of time. Thank you very much, Segun.
Thank you, Yeri, for giving me your platform. It's a pleasure, really.
Indeed. All right, then. Cheers. Our pleasure. Okay. I imagine we left some time so that you could also call in from home if you wanted to on this whole matter. It's an interesting situation with the, the PDP. You know what's going on nationwide across, all the states with the PDP. Yeah, we took Segun Showunmi, we took him into the matter about the crisis within Ogun State itself, and we started off from the national. It seemed like he was a bit reluctant to even go there, that, look, it's not about me. That is a done deal, the way he was seeing it. That okay, good morning, Ada in Jos. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Mr. Yuri. Ada calling from Jos Plateau State. Wow, it has been very, very interesting, I feel for him. He's, your guest, Mr. Showunmi, he was very blunt and objective. But Mr. Yuri, if you ask me, if Atiku Abubakar is a unifier, I hold the same view with him.
I can't hear.
Let's say,
thing
can
that
you
you're
hear me?
saying.
Hello? Hello? Can
Hello?
you hear me?
Okay, please.
Can you hear me?
Aha, please. I just heard you. Please go on.
Okay. I said if Atiku Abubakar is a unifier, I've always had that view, share that view. Then why can't I begin at home? Why can't he unify his party? I don't know why. Why is this broken agreement? That is causing problem in all sectors, even us, even the power sector. Why is it? I heard him. He said that the chairman said that if the presidential flag bearer emerges from the north, he will resign. He said that. He said that to the whole nation. So why can't he take that step? I'm really disappointed in him because I hold him in high esteem. So I can't understand all these scenarios. All this ego crisis and lack of internal party democracy. And Mr. Yori, let me tell you something. This idea of thinking that PDP, they now we want to back. They are making a mistake. If you assess PDP in isolation, they didn't do very well, But why people are talking about them now is because we are playing side by side with the APC 7 years plus. So they now have an advantage that we are married 2 husbands according to them, and all that. But the 2 husbands scenario will not work again, because you might also want to go and look for a new husband. And a new husband is there, labor. So they should be very careful. It's neither here nor there. Let them make hay while the sun shines. Or let them stop living in a fool's paradise. All the same, let's not give up on this country. It shall be well.
Thank you very much, Ada, for calling in. Ogadimma. I like the way you put it like that. So here we are. It's an interesting scenario. Even Segun Showunmi himself said that he was quite happy that now there's a choice. There was a time when we were hearing about there would be 60 years in power and all of that. But now reality has dawned, and Ada has just concluded. I've just said that now APC has is about to complete its own 8 years in power. So people can now, make a choice. Sorry, did I hear Victor from Akwa Ibom? Is that Major in Akwa Ibom? Good morning, sir.
In Akwa Ibom. Thank you, Mr. Yari. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to join you.
Sure.
Yes, I've been listening to your guests. I wish he was live in studio. I have so many pertinent questions to ask him. But before then, let me talk about this issue of the PDP crisis. I'm sure you can hear me very well.
Very well.
Yes. before the primaries, Jory, you agree with me that the national PDP chairman, he made a statement that if the candidate doesn't come from the South, he will resign.
Yes.
Now, before then, remember, FFK, that is the former aviation minister, he remember once, he said that instead of him to go into APC, he rather die. But where is he now? I think he's in APC. So we should not believe all these politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming back to Wike, now Wike has the right to be aggrieved. Now, during the primaries, the PDP primaries, one of the constitution of the PDP is that they accept zoning. Did they go on to that? Apart from that, did they respect the zoning policy? Apart from that, another thing that made Wike to be aggrieved. Remember Tambowal during 2019, Wike survived very well to this man when Tambowal wanted to run for a particular position.
Yeah.
Now, during that primaries also, some people stepped down, like this Tambowal stepped down for Tiku. But did they give another people aspirant opportunity for them to step down, or giving them another opportunity for them to go to the mic?
Yeah.
I think is some few people. Why do you say that Wike should not be aggrieved? Then finally, after these primaries, they went. They have some main committee, and I think 14 main committee agreed that the candidate, the running mate to Atiku should be Wike.
Yes.
Did Atiku accept that? That's the question. I thought he went and picked a Kowa.
Exactly. And so people can't understand it. I'm sorry that I've got to interrupt, but I do appreciate your calling in. And the last point you made about the committee had recommended one thing, the presidential candidate who said it's his prerogative had decided another way, and it has led us to where we are now. But the point has been made by the PDP, when I say PDP, let me say by Segun Showunmi of the PDP, that it's not about one man. I've also heard it from a journalistic colleague as well, saying that, look, everybody is important. Yes, Governor Wike is important, but it's more than just about one man. Let's leave it there for now. Well, you just heard it from our main guest, Segun Showunmi, that things have to be fixed if the PDP is to walk into the contest in any kind of a successful way, and that he's not backing down on that. That's our program today. Thank you very much for being with us. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Polarin. Bye-bye for now.